Now I think we were trying to discuss the voltage regulation calculation, na? We finished up to this page probably. Representation of armature reaction in equivalent circuit. Are you reading any books? Or trying to do something to remember this thing, what I am also trying to convey you in the class? আমি করছি তারপরে আবার কম্পিউটার বন্ধ করে বা ইয়ে বন্ধ করে রেখে দিচ্ছ, কি বলে, মোবাইল। এই সাবজেক্টটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি যদি না ফলো করো না তাহলে বুঝতে পারবে না শেষের দিকে। জাস্ট ইট উইল বি মেয়ারলি হাউ টু পাস আফটার সলভিং সাম প্রবলেম, তাহলে চলে যাবে। কি বলছি? শুনছো, শুনতে পাচ্ছ? হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ স্যার, শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
হ্যাঁ বলছি, বই পড়ছো। পিএস বিমরাতে খুব এতটা ডিটেলে হয়তো পাবে না, কিন্তু কিছু কিছু জিনিস ঠিক পাবে। হ্যাঁ, দ্যাট উইল বি সাফিসিয়েন্ট ফর সলভিং সাম প্রবলেমস এন্ড আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিং ফিউ থিংস, বাট টু ট্রাই টু রিমেম্বার দিস থিংস অলসো হোয়াট উই আর ডিসকাসিং ইন দ্য ক্লাস। হ্যাঁ, যদি আমি তোমাদের এই নোটটা পরে পাঠিয়ে দেবো, কিন্তু আপাতত কিছুভাবে যদি স্ক্রিনশট করে রাখতে পারো, তারপরে একটু দেখে নিলে দ্যাট উইল হেল্প ইউ। হ্যাঁ, প্রেজেন্টেশনটা আবার কোথায় চলে গেল? Here. Okay. So now, as you see that we started our discussion regarding the factors affecting voltage regulation, means why voltage changes with load, right? And in order to in order to investigate that, we found out some reasons, like say armature resistance, armature leakage reactance, and the third one, and which is having the most importance, or you can say most impact, is this armature reaction. Okay, so now we have found out that how it is reducing flux during the connection of lagging power factor loads, and how it is increasing the flux for leading power factor loads. And then actually you see, when you try to develop equivalent circuit of any say electrical equipment, say maybe a transformer, maybe a DC machine, maybe an induction machine. So the motto is that circuit should actually replicate its behavior through its circuit analysis, isn't it? Otherwise there is no use of this equivalent circuit. So therefore this armature reaction effect has to be also implemented or also realized in the equivalent circuit in such a way that by that, from that equivalent circuit we can get that effect or get that voltage regulation and all other things, calculations possible. Okay, so now that is why we're trying to find out that how to represent this armature reaction in equivalent circuit. Now here we have taken two extreme conditions. One for purely inductive load and another for purely capacitive load. Purely inductive load means zero power factor lagging load, and then the other one is zero power factor leading load. Just a minute, I just close that door. Zero power factor lagging load and zero power factor leading load. Now the first case, and again some small assumption rather, where we have taken that that resistance is zero, armature resistance is not considered because it is having negligible effect, right, for understanding purpose. So now you see here that whenever you draw the phasor diagram, this is your terminal voltage VT and this is your E0, no load EMF. and there must be some element in series, as there is a voltage change, so there must be some series element, okay, voltage drop, voltage rise, whatever it is, and that is responsible for armature reaction voltage drop, right? It is written here VAR plus minus. So now if you apply your KVL, you will find that E0 minus armature reaction drop is your terminal voltage. So now here for lagging load, what we have find that the terminal voltage will straight away decrease, isn't it? Because the armature reaction is entirely demagnetizing. That means E0 is at the tip of the phasor, and then minus the armature reaction drop, right? E0 minus this armature reaction drop, VAR, right? Minus VAR will give you the terminal voltage VT here, right? So minus VAR is actually, arrowhead is in the left hand side, right? So plus VAR will be arrowhead right hand side. Just actual VAR is on the right hand side because it is plus, negative and positive phasor, okay, 180 degree difference. So now you find here that the armature reaction voltage drop is leading armature current by 90 degree, right? Now similar phasor diagram or similar conclusion we will be drawing for the leading load also. Now you see here also you find that E0 minus VAR for the case 2, leading load, purely capacitive load, right? E0 minus VAR will be terminal voltage VT. Now here the armature reaction is magnetizing, therefore your terminal voltage will increase. So E0 minus VAR is in the same arrowhead of E0 in the same direction. So VT is increased, left hand side phasor diagram you see, and IA is leading here actually. IA is leading, 0 power factor leading, as I said, 90 degree lead. So now minus VAR in the right hand side, so plus VAR will be, arrowhead will be in the left hand side, which is shown to the left of this IA, right? Now here also you find that this armature reaction voltage drop is leading armature current by 90 degree. So from which you can easily come to know, you can easily take a conclusion, right, that the armature reaction can be represented by a reactance. Because reactive voltage drop, if you remember your first year classes, that reactive voltage drop leads current by 90 degree. Reactive means actually inductive. Inductive voltage drop leads current by 90 degree. So therefore, this armature reaction effect can be represented through a fictitious reactance. Fictitious means it is not seen, but somewhere it is there, as if it is there. So it is XF, fictitious reactance, XF, JXF, right? So in the equivalent circuit, you will find that E0, and then here, instead of this VAR and all, you can represent it in terms of reactance JXF, and then you get VT, and you get the similar effect, okay? So this is clear. Now E0 minus JIAXF equal to VT, right? Now total armature equivalent, then after that you find that total armature equivalent circuit. Now because you have represented armature reaction by XF, now armature leakage reactance by XAL, JXAL, and armature resistance by RA. So you have got a total impedance of RA plus J into XAL plus XF, right? Where XAL is the leakage reactance written here, XF is the fictitious reactance due to armature reaction. Now RA is the armature resistance. Now if you add up these two reactances, XAL plus XF, this has a typical term known as synchronous reactance, XS. You will find mainly in books XS, right? RA plus JXS. RA plus JXS is ZS, synchronous impedance. Now when you take RA plus JXS, it gives you an impedance which is actually the synchronous impedance. Now this is rectangular form, and its polar form, it can be written as ZS bar equal to ZS magnitude theta s, where magnitude of ZS is nothing but RA square plus XS square, and then theta s is tan inverse XS by RA. So this is the impedance triangle, RA here and XS standing, actually XS is leading RA by 90 degrees. So you get ZS and theta S, right? So this is the entire armature circuit, equivalent circuit. This is, of course, for cylindrical rotor machine. This you remember, because we are all deriving everything now for cylindrical rotor machine. Although, while explaining armature reaction, we showed a structure like salient pole machine, but this derivation is actually for cylindrical rotor machine. For salient pole, we will show you a little different approach will be taken there. Okay, will be followed, rather a different approach will be followed there. So now calculation of voltage regulation. Now after having known that what are the reasons for voltage regulation, rather voltage change due to load. So now we will concentrate on various methods of how to calculate voltage regulation in a synchronous machine, or in an alternator, you can say, right? So now the calculation of voltage regulation, actually you will find there are various methods. Normally three methods we will follow. Fourth method that I will mention. So in the books you will find all the four methods are there. So three methods are sufficient, but fourth method also it can be known. Now the first one is the EMF method, or its other name is synchronous impedance method. Now, to calculate voltage regulation, what data you need first of all? If you remember, what data you need? Now, by definition, voltage regulation was difference in voltage due to load, right? With respect to no load. That means you need the no load voltage data and the load voltage data. So you have to take a difference between them and then divide by the no load voltage and multiply by 100. You get a percentage voltage regulation. So now here, from the impedance method, we will straight away use the equivalent circuit, whatever we have developed right now. Now, equivalent circuit is shown here, E0 RAJXS, and applying Kirchhoff's voltage law, you can find out that E0 equal to hello, sir. Oh, sorry, there was a phone call actually. Huh? Sorry. So, হ্যাঁ, তোমরা শুনতে পাচ্ছ তো? Okay, okay. তাহলে ব্যাপারটা what we are telling that if you apply Kirchhoff's voltage law here, so you get E0 equal to VT plus IAZS, right? So now when you are going to calculate voltage regulation, definitely you should be having a data regarding the load. That means whether it is operating at full load, whether it is operating at half load, and load power factor, at which power factor. So therefore, from that load, you can know the magnitude and phase of current, right? So IA is known, right? And also the terminal voltage data should be available, because the alternator is operating at this much voltage with this current. Otherwise you cannot calculate the voltage regulation, right? So terminal voltage VT data in magnitude and phase, of course terminal voltage we always take as reference. Whatever phasor diagram I have drawn, at least that I'm always taking this armature terminal voltage as a reference, and then the magnitude and then phase angle 0, and current magnitude and phase angle should be known. And if you know this value of synchronous impedance ZS, so naturally you can calculate E0, right? Now when you know E0 and VT is known already, so difference of E0 minus VT magnitude wise and divide by E0 into 100 will give you the voltage regulation. So then phasor diagram, if you see, it can be drawn for both lagging and leading power factor, loads. For lagging power factor loads, it will be something like, say, VT plus IARA. So if you look back in the earlier equation, so VT plus IAZS, so ZS is RA plus JXS. So VT plus IARA plus JIAXS, this is actually IAZS, right? And it gives you E0, right? Magnitude and phase of E0. Now, if you look at the MMF phasor diagram of magnetomotive force, what we concluded earlier, that always the main field or the MMF leads the EMF by 90 degree. So naturally, the no load EMF is represented by FF, right? And this will lead E0 by 90 degree, and the resultant MMF FR will lead the resultant terminal voltage by 90 degree. So now MMF, actually armature MMF plus field MMF, this will give you the resultant MMF. So therefore FF plus FA will be FR. So naturally FA, the armature MMF, will have the same phasor or phase direction, as that of armature current. So FF plus FA equal to FR. So that is what is represented in this phasor diagram for lagging load. So similarly for leading load, you see that this is actually leading load, means current is leading. So you get IARA here and JIAXS here. So this is your E0. So leading load armature reaction magnetizing, that means no load EMF will be less than terminal voltage VT. So this is E0 and the bottom one is VT. And then you get the MMF phasor E0, and FF is leading E0 by 90 degree, and FF plus FA is in the same phase of IA, and the resultant MMF is more, and that is why resultant terminal voltage VT is more, right? And the phase angle between E0 and VT is known as the load angle, right? So as the load is increasing, the delta also will increase, because IARA and IAXS drop will increase. Naturally E0 will go up and up. So that is why this angle is known as load angle, as it represents the load, right? So delta is load angle. So now if all the quantities VT, IA, RA and ZS are known, it is written here, E0 can be calculated. Thus the voltage regulation can be calculated as E0 minus VT by E0 into 100%, right? But this method as a whole is known as a pessimistic method. Pessimist, what do you mean by pessimist? Pessimist means the one who sees always the back side of it, or the black side of it, not the bright side, right? Dark side. Dark side means he is always thinking that it will not be there. It will not be there like that. Now, here, a pessimistic means actually the calculated voltage regulation is very high. That means you feel that the alternator is very bad. As we started our discussion earlier, that this represents the quality of a voltage source. No? This voltage regulation represents the quality of a voltage source, right? If you see that, this voltage regulation is low, that means it's a good source. Voltage regulation is high, that means a bad source. Now, if this calculates voltage regulation to be very high, so you feel that the alternator is bad, it's not properly designed, so it's a pessimist. But actually it is not so, not that bad. The reason is actually, see here, we are calculating the voltage regulation based on the data of armature resistance and are synchronous reactance, XS, right? Rest things are actually known. It has to be there. That means armature current, terminal voltage. Now the synchronous reactance and the armature resistance, you see, the armature resistance is quite negligible compared to synchronous reactance, XS. This has been widely discussed throughout. Now, when XS you see, the XS is determined always experimentally for the alternators on rated conditions. And it has actually both armature reaction effect and the leakage reactance effect embedded within it, right? So now leakage reactance is leakage reactance, but you see that armature reactance effect is actually dependent on load. Now, if load is less, naturally your armature reaction effect will be less. But whatever we are considering here, this excess is actually always during rated condition, this calculated excess, and this rated condition means full load. So therefore, if we are trying to calculate voltage regulation at lower loads, so normally what will happen, due to the larger value of excess considered, which should not be actually so during lower load conditions, so the calculated regulation, because IAZS drop is increasing, right? Calculated regulation is high. So that is why it is known as pessimistic method. Right? Now we have given an example how to calculate, right? So suppose a 100 MVA Y connected, typical Y connected 11 kV alternator is delivering rated load at 0.8 power factor lag. Find its voltage regulation. Assume per phase impedance as RA plus JXS equal to 0.05 plus J0.8 ohm. Now, naturally, how will you calculate? Now, based on the available data, rated load, you will calculate rated current. So, rated current is 100 MVA by root 3 I, root 3 V. Root 3 VI is 100 MVA. So, naturally, you get rated current. And its phase angle is cos inverse 0.8 minus, because it is lag, minus cos inverse 0.8. That I have not shown here. So, then the rated voltage, of course, as the data is per phase, so you have to calculate per phase rated voltage. Now, per phase rated voltage is 11 kV by root 3. Now, per phase impedance, the per phase no load EMF E0, then according to that developed equation, E0 equal to VT plus IAZS. So, naturally, it will be that VT calculated plus IA, whatever calculated with phase angle, and then ZS. Now, when you know that, you can calculate E0 and naturally voltage regulation. So that's what you have to fill in the blanks. So I have just shown you how to calculate it through this method for a very simple problem. Okay, there can be various other problems that can be coming out regarding this method of method of EMF. Now, the second method, actually, you see, it's known as MMF method. MMF, magnetomotive force method. So, this method utilizes different generator characteristics. So, that is why this method will be actually calculating the voltage regulation according to the condition. That means according to the load, right? Load criteria. So, to understand this, naturally, we will try to know that the different generator characteristics first, after which then only we will be able to understand this method. Now, the first generator characteristics is open circuit characteristics, OCC. open circuit characteristics. Now, what is open circuit characteristics? Now, this you have actually clearly known from your earlier classes, like say DC generator open circuit characteristics, or transformer open circuit characteristics, etc. Now, open circuit characteristics means how the voltage is developed, with field excitation, right? So naturally, here also, what we'll do that the generator will be run at rated speed. The method generator will be run at rated speed with armature terminals open, means it's not connected to load. And to record the voltage, a voltmeter should be connected, right, across the armature. And then it's run at rated speed with voltmeter connected, armature circuit open, and then the field current is varied. Field current is varied from zero to a field current where we get around 125% of rated voltage, right? So now in small steps, you can vary the field current, you can record the armature voltages, and you plot VT versus armature the terminal voltage versus field current, you get these characteristics. And the characteristics will look like this. This is the magnetization characteristics or the saturation characteristics of the machine. Now you get always DC motor also, DC generator also, you have seen the similar one. Here also there is not much difference. But here only one thing, at that time the characteristics is not starting from the origin, but always you will find in books it is from the origin. Okay. Because of the fact I have expanded this portion. Okay. Now in normal scale you don't find much difference, because this offset, right, this small voltage, whatever at IF equal to 0, we find it is due to the residual magnetism of the field. Normally this voltage is of the order of few tens of volts, maybe 15-20 volts. Okay. So the terminal voltage, as I have said, these machines are very large machines of the order of kilovolts. Just now we have seen 11 kilovolt line to line, that means 6350, 6350 volts per phase voltage. So now you see that if you see the per phase voltage 6350, and with that a scale of 10-15 volts, it will be appearing like a 0. Okay. But actual characteristics like this. Initially the characteristics is linear because of the air gap, and then it comes to a saturation characteristics when the reluctance of the magnetic path, flux path, okay, ferromagnetic flux path actually under the core is becoming comparable with that of the air gap reluctance, and it reduces with increased flux, saturation effect, right? And if you draw a line from the origin and then coinciding the linear portion of the OCC, you get a line, straight line, which is known as the air gap line, So we will use this afterwards. Okay. So this is actually what is open circuit characteristics. Now, naturally, one point I have written here. So for lower speeds, lower voltages, that means if you do not perform this test at rated speed, at higher or lower, right? So the characteristics will shift. For lower speeds, for same field current, the developed voltage will be less. For higher speeds, it will be higher. So the characteristics can shift with speed, right? Remember this.
Okay, sir.
Now second characteristics is short circuit characteristics. The other one is short circuit characteristics. Now you have performed this short circuit test earlier also, like for transformer, right? For transformer, you have performed the short circuit test, and induction motor also. If you remember, block rotor test is equivalent to short circuit test of a transformer, right? So now the short circuit characteristics means the armature terminal will be short circuited, right? And the behavior of field current versus armature current under this condition will give you the characteristics, right? The behavior of armature current versus field current will give you the short circuit characteristics. So naturally, the idea is, the method is to that short circuit the armature, right? The first point it is written here, short circuit the armature, And then with ammeter means actually, ammeter has got very low resistance, and you have to record the current readings also. Otherwise, it may so happen that you get a current, or you may pass a current through the armature which is much larger compared to its rated value, and you damage the alternator. So in order to even for recording purpose also, if you are to plot the characteristics of armature current versus field current, so you should know the record. You should record the armature current data. So that purpose also ammeter should be there. So only one ammeter, in the other case 1 voltmeter was there. We are assuming that the machine is balanced, and therefore the phase currents, rather the currents in all the phases will be same, or there the phase line to line voltages in all the three cases will be same for the open circuit test. So a single ammeter is given here. Now the second one is alternator. Second point to be noted, alternator is run at any speed between synchronous speed to 1/3 of synchronous speed. Synchronous speed to 1/3 of synchronous speed. You know what is synchronous speed, right? Now synchronous speed to, but for the above case, right, for the open circuit test, we have strictly said that it is to be run at synchronous speed in order to get the rated characteristics. But here it is mentioned that you can run at any speed between synchronous speed to 1/3 of synchronous speed, right? That reason I will explain a little later. Third point then, how to take the characteristics. Now IF should be varied from 0 to the value where we get around 110 or 120% of the rated current, right? So naturally IF increasing means, IF 0 means you have only got the small residual voltage, right? So that is responsible for flowing current in the armature circuit. And if you increase IF, field current, so naturally your induced EMF will increase, and naturally armature current will increase. So that way you can get the characteristics. So you can get say as your will, maybe 10-15 recordings from 0 to 110 or 120% of rated armature current, and then accordingly you get the field current, and then you get the data and plot IA versus IF, right? This gives you short circuit characteristics, or in abbreviation SCC. Now the characteristics here is shown in the left hand side, which is actually linear. IA versus IF, linear. IA versus IF, linear. And there is a question mark also, linear, why? And then this is a rated current, this is the 110% of rated current, that's all. Okay. Now linear passing through almost the origin, because we neglect the residual induced EMF, right? Residual induced EMF. So then you see that the characteristics is linear here. And the second case, what we are in the first case, what we are talking, that why the speed is not specific. You can run at any speed, and you don't get any shifting of these characteristics also. If you run at even 1/3 omega s, you get the same points, and if you run at omega s even 1.5 or 1.3 omega s, you get the same points for field current and the IA, right? The reason is here from this equivalent circuit, right side. I have been not very generous in space, so I have compactly written everything. Because the same way I used to write in the board, maybe there I used to erase up and then write, but here you have to take a little bit of pen to study this. Okay, right side, see, equivalent circuit during short circuit is written. So E0, and then it is short circuit through ammeter, and in the equivalent circuit we have only armature resistance and JXS, synchronous reactance. That's what we have studied right now, few minutes back. Now, if you increase IF, means E0 is increased, and then IA is increased. So then IA is nothing but E0 by ZS. E0 by ZS. IA short circuit, IASC is E0 by ZS. Its magnitude is E0 by RA square plus XS square, right? Now, just now, or all the time we are talking that this RA has got very negligible value compared to XS. Means if you compare the ratio of XS to RA under rated condition, it is less than 1/10, right? And if you make square, say let us say RA is 0.1 and XS is 1. So 0.1 square is 0.01 and 1 square is 1. So actually it becomes 100 times. So therefore, you can easily neglect RA for calculation purpose. So now you get it is E0 by XS, IASC. Approximately it can be written as E0 by XS. Now E0, as you see, it has been told earlier also, it is proportional to the synchronous speed. That means proportional to the speed of the rotor. If the rotor speed is increasing, that means K into omega S. K has got all other factors like flux, missing factor, etc. So K, some constant factor, and omega S, right? K and omega S. Now XS is again omega S into LS, right? So this omega S will cancel out. So it becomes K by LS, K by LS. So now in the expression of short circuit current, in the expression of armature current, there is no speed term coming, omega S. So you can have any omega S, but why then a restriction of 1/3 omega S? Now you see at 1/3 omega S or below, actually this omega into LS, that is also reducing. No? Supposing it is just now I was telling that 0.1 and 1. Now for 1/3 omega S, it will be 0.1 and 0.33, right? And below that, say 1/4, 0.1 and 0.25. Then these two elements are becoming comparable to each other, and you cannot neglect RA. So therefore, the characteristics will shift from this linear zone or shift from these values. So between 1/3 to omega S to 1 omega S, you can easily neglect the value of RS, and you can get an expression for short circuit armature current, which is devoid of omega S, right? So therefore, it is permissible, right? It is saying omega S to 1/3 omega S possible, any speed between this. Now the second question, why it is linear? Because you see that E0 with respect to IF will be varying non-linearly. Just now we have shown that the OCC is non-linear. But if E0 is varying non-linearly, so that non-linearity would have been reflected here in the short circuit characteristics also. But it is not so. Why? Simply because you see that here again the same thing. When you see the current IA and RA value is negligible, RA value is negligible, so the circuit becomes entirely reactive. Okay, entirely reactive means armature reaction is demagnetizing. Armature reaction is demagnetizing. Now, when armature reaction is demagnetizing, so naturally your flux gets reduced and it always remains in the linear zone, right? So when the flux is in the linear zone, so the E0 versus IF characteristics also linear. So therefore your characteristics will be linear here. So these things, few things actually are not exactly given in many of the books. So you remember there must be some interview questions or even some questions which from the understandings between the lines questions. So right, so these things should be clear to you, right? And then একবার তো ভালো করেই বললাম বাবা, আমরা কি অন্যটা কি কোনটা বুঝতে পারোনি?
লাস্টের জায়গাটা মানে যেখানে স্যার ওই বললেন যে লিনিয়ার যে একটা শেষ করলেন না, লিনিয়ার কেন হচ্ছে?
লিনিয়ার বলতে ম্যাগনেটিক সার্কিট আনস্যাচুরেটেড থাকছে, বিকজ it is always operating under demagnetizing armature reaction condition. Okay, so demagnetizing armature reaction মানে হচ্ছে flux reduced, so the magnetic circuit যে linear zone সেইখানেও থেকে যাচ্ছে reduced flux এ। OCC যদি দেখো linear IF যখন কম lower flux এ it is linear lower flux এ, right? So always it is remaining in this zone because of demagnetizing armature reaction. Okay. Now another term which is actually sought for this kind of machines, known as short circuit ratio, SCR. Now short circuit ratio, if you see about a phone, Just a minute. হ্যাঁ, হ্যালো। হ্যাঁ,
আমার ছাত্ররা আমাকে একটা জানালো কি কি পশ্চিমবঙ্গ বিজ্ঞান পরিষদ নাকি একটা অ্যাড বেরিয়েছে, তাতে তোমার নাম নাকি এগুলো দেখাচ্ছে।
আমি জানি না আমার নাম কোথায় এনরোল হয়েছে, আমি জানি না। আমাকে তাহলে জানতে হবে। সায়েন্স কংগ্রেস না কিছু, আমি জানি না কিছু। হ্যাঁ, একটা কাজ করতে পারেন, ওই যে ছাত্রটি বলেছে ওকে আমার নাম্বারটা দিন, ও যেন সন্ধ্যেবেলা একটু ফোন করে 8টার দিকে। হ্যাঁ, তাহলে আমি ওর থেকে ডিটেলটা পেয়ে যাবো। হ্যাঁ, সেটাই হচ্ছে। আচ্ছা 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 আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে। আমি তো কিছুই জানি না, আমি কোথাও কোনো অ্যাপ্লাই করিনি, কেউ আমার নামটা তুলে দিয়েছে তাহলে ওখানে। হ্যাঁ, আমি আমি আমাকে পাঠান, আমি দেখে বলতে পারবো। হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে, ঠিক ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে, ওকে ওকে। Sorry, actually I am taking net from this and if I put it on my ear, so it will be affecting my head, so that is why I made it on speaker. So sorry for interruption, I could not put up your speaker, this microphone also. So it's okay না? বুঝতে পারছো তোমরা? Short circuit ratio. Short circuit ratio. The other term is short circuit ratio. Short circuit ratio actually SCR. SCR তোমরা অন্য জায়গায় আবার পড়বে, এর আলাদা একটা পরিচয় আছে, that is actually silicon control rectifier. If you see, you don't confuse with silicon control rectifier. This is SCR for alternator. Okay, short circuit ratio. Now short circuit ratio is actually it's a quality measure of a machine, right? It's a quality measure of a machine. Why I am telling you? First, you know what is it? It is actually if you get these two characteristics, one is the open circuit characteristics and another is the short circuit characteristics. Now for open circuit characteristics, there is one field current which corresponds to the rated voltage. Okay, that has been shown in the plot. There is one field current which corresponds to the rated voltage. And in short circuit characteristics also, there is another field current which corresponds to rated current, right? Rated armature current. Now short circuit ratio is the ratio of these two field currents, IF1 to IF2. That means in definition, if you want to express, you can say that it is the ratio of the field current which produces rated voltage under open circuit condition to the field current which produces rated current under short circuit condition, right? And this ratio is inversely proportional to the synchronous impedance, synchronous reactance, XS. That means the machine with having higher short circuit ratio is having lower synchronous reactance, and the machine is having lower short circuit ratio is having higher synchronous reactance. Now synchronous reactance actually represents the air gap, stiffness, etc., that you will learn in upper classes. That means when you go for research and PG and etc. So this, up to this much you remember that this is actually that inversely proportional to XS, which has been proved here also in my handwriting. So actually normally it is not required for you, but as I have already uttered the term that is inversely proportional to XS, so that is why I have said, or I have given here. So you see, I have plotted two curves, this open circuit characteristic curve and also the short circuit characteristics curve in the same plot, where in the left hand side I have shown terminal voltage, in the right hand side I have shown the armature current, right? Now, when corresponds to armature rated current, it cuts short circuit ratio at point C, and if you take a perpendicular, so you get CD, which is actually the voltage corresponding to this this IF2, right? Which corresponding to IF2. Similarly, if you draw a horizontal line parallel to IF axis from V rated, you meet OCC at point B, and if you draw perpendicular, you get BE. So BE is rated voltage, and OE is the field current IF1, right? OD is the field current IF2. So now, if you take this triangle OCD, and there are points AE and CD, right? Now from here, you see XS equal to BE by AE. Now XS, you see, BE is what? The open circuit voltage, and AE is actually the current corresponding to this field current producing open circuit voltage, right? Corresponding open circuit voltage. Now, naturally, if you neglect resistance, armature resistance, you get BE by BE by AE as your XS. BE by AE as your XS. Now it can be rewritten like this: BE by CD into CD by AE. Now BE by CD. So CD is nothing but rated current. It is rated current corresponding to this. So V rated by I rated. So BE is your V rated voltage by rated current, and CD by AE is actually from this triangle rule OD by OE. So OD by OE is nothing but IF2 by IF1, right? And if you take in per unit, right? So V rated and I rated, they are in per unit values 1 by 1. So XS in per unit. So you have to take, of course, in per unit. So IF2 by IF1 is XS. So then you get that IF inversely. This is a short circuit ratio. This short circuit ratio is IF1 by IF2, which is 1 by SCR. So then short circuit ratio is inversely proportional to XS in per unit. Okay, of course, per unit you have to take. Now, for a typical figure, turbo alternators, you see, turbo alternators means that what I have said, that which is having only two poles, that means it is connected to the steam turbines. They are having a short circuit ratio of the range of 0.5 to 0.9, right? That means it's lower. And for hydro alternators, that means salient pole machines, it is 0.9 to 1.5, higher. That means if you see that design aspect, actually, always the cylindrical rotor machines are having lower air gap compared to the salient pole machines. So that is why it's reflected in SCR as well as in synchronous reactance also. Now you get lower values for turbo alternators and then higher values for hydro alternators. SCR ratio. Of course, XS is opposite, right? And the third characteristics we will I think I should conclude here. Is it okay, or I'll finish off this one? এটা শেষ করে দিই, হ্যাঁ, তারপরে গিয়ে নেক্সট ডে থেকে এটা জাস্ট এই ক্যারেক্টারিস্টিক্সটা শেষ করে দিই। Third one is actually zero power factor characteristics. Now you know what is a zero power factor. Zero power factor means the load has to be either fully leading or fully lagging, 90 degree leading or 90 degree lagging. Cos 90 is 0. So here we always get zero power factor lagging characteristics. So that is why ZPFC, it's known as ZPFC, zero power factor characteristics. Now you see here, to obtain that, we have to connect the armature to zero power factor load. That means purely inductive load, balanced load. Balanced load and load variation is to be there. So that is why these arrows, 3 arrows, they are cascaded actually. They are equivalently varying. Means if you vary one phase, the other phases will be varied equally, right? So then see here. Now the machine is run at synchronous speed, right? The machine is run at synchronous speed, and it is connected through zero power factor lagging loads like this, and ammeters and voltmeters are connected like this in order to record the load current and the load voltage like that, and vary field current, right? You have to vary field current, and for each field current you adjust load in such a way that always your rated armature current flows, right? So now at rated armature current, zero power factor load, you get field current and terminal voltage, right? Right. Then for next field current, again you vary the load so that your terminal armature current is rated, and you again record terminal voltage. Now, if you keep on doing that and do up to 110% of rated armature voltage, so you get a characteristics which is like this, which is shown below in page number 8. Page number 8. Line, not the dotted line, the farm line. The farm line, you see, it's a shifted OCC, type of shifted OCC, right? It's a shifted OCC. You get similar characteristics to OCC, but not starting from origin, starting from point A, right? So the reason is actually here, the point I have always said that we are always getting rated load current at zero power factor. That means armature reaction is full and fully demagnetizing. Full means rated armature reaction and demagnetizing. That means you require some minimal field current, because the net flux is actually the field flux minus armature flux, demagnetizing. So the field flux has to be more than the armature flux, so that your net flux will be there and you get some net voltage. So therefore, this OA is the voltage to overcome the armature reaction and the leakage reactance effect, right? And after that, if you increase field current, you get some voltage. So that is why it is actually a shifted OCC. So I conclude here for today. So tomorrow next class, we will go for the calculations regarding the armature reactions. So I hope I could express something to you. But if you have still some doubts, you can come back by next 5 minutes. আছে কিছু হ্যাঁ বলো।
বলছিলাম স্যার হচ্ছে এমএমএফ যে মেথডটায় ওই স্যার হচ্ছে আরএস ইজি হচ্ছে ওমেগা যে স্পিডটার কথা বললেন না, ওটা হচ্ছে যে ওমেগা এস টু 1/3 ওমেগা এস এর মধ্যে যে রান করবে। হ্যাঁ, তো এবার বলছিলাম মানে এই যে ভ্যালুটা, এটা কি হচ্ছে যে এক্সপেরিমেন্টালি যে পাওয়া গেছে, মানে হচ্ছে
মোটামুটি
টেন্সটা ওইটার
মোটামুটি অন এন অ্যাভারেজ তোমাকে তো যেটা বললাম, মোটামুটি অন এন অ্যাভারেজ, বিকজ দ্য রেশিও অফ এক্সেস টু আর এ ইজ অলমোস্ট 9:10, ওকে। তো এরপরে দেখা যাচ্ছে 1/3 পর্যন্ত উই ক্যান নেগলেক্ট ইট, বাট বিলো দ্যাট actually the comparable value of RA and XS, so the armature current is affected actually.
ওকে, বাট স্যার যে টার্বো বা হচ্ছে হাইড্রোর এরকম কোন রকম হচ্ছে যে আলাদা আলাদা যে স্পেসিফাই আছে কোন রকম স্পিডের, না হচ্ছে যে আরএটা যে বাড়ার সাথে সাথে হচ্ছে যে এক্সটাও বাড়বে, যে তার জন্য যে কোন রকম স্পেসিফিকেশন নেই?
এইটা 100% ডিজাইনের উপর ডিপেন্ড করবে, কিন্তু রাফলি অ্যাজ এ হোল দিস ইজ দ্য ভ্যালু, ঠিক আছে। এবারে অল্টারনেটর অনেক সময় ম্যানুফ্যাকচারার ডিফাইন করে দিতে পারে that you can go for this to this, okay, but this is the average value I am telling.
Okay sir,
okay, সুতরাং তাহলে আমি going out,
একটু স্যার যে সেন্ড করে দিতে পারবেন?
নোটটা আমি সেন্ড করে দেবো, আর একটা দুটো ক্লাস হোক, আমি একটুখানি আর একটু ডেভেলপ করে দিই, হ্যাঁ, আমি নেক্সট সেন্ড করে দেবো, ঠিক আছে?
হ্যাঁ, ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
ঠিক, ওকে। সো আর কারোর কিছু আছে না বোঝা জায়গা? তোমাদের সঙ্গে তো এখনো বোধহয় দেখাই হয়নি ঠিক করে, তাই না? হবে হবে হয়তো নভেম্বরে হবে।
কম্পিউটার ল্যাবে হয়েছিল স্যার একদম
কম্পিউটার ল্যাবে, হ্যাঁ সে তো খুবই চকিতে, সে 10 মিনিট এনিওয়ে সাবজেক্ট ভালো করে পড়ো। হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে, আমি বেরোচ্ছি তাহলে।
ওকে স্যার।